from a teacher's perspective, sometimes it can be really scary when you have a kid that is so obviously gifted because you want so many things for them so badly.
Yeah.
And some kids have the vision and the work ethic to put forward, but there's always the fear of, because we've all seen kids that have incredible talent and then they make a couple of choices and their life just takes a left turn and then it breaks your heart. And so you see a kid like you were, where you're just like, you
Yeah.
want so bad to see them go and tour and live out all their dreams and all that. So it sounds like that's kind of what was going on there.
Yeah. And but what's crazy is though, is I look back and sort of see, we can all do this, right? I mean, Facebook affords us the ability to go back and go, oh, that was the kid that could do this and this and this. And like, what's he doing now? Oh my God. Like that guy's had a rough life. And, and you sort of look back on those things and go, this was the high school football guy that was supposed to go on to the pros and he robbed a Taco Bueno, and it's just like, what is,
Right.
and that actually happened, like one of our
Yeah,
friends robbed this guy was supposed to go to the NFL and he like robbed a freaking Taco Bell and, dude went away. But, so like you could, and I guess that's just it too, right? You realize why it sort of like the easy thing is to go over into coaches and the reason why they're so hard on some of those kids, and it does,
Yeah.
it makes sense. And, I see it even with my kids' friends, my oldest son is 18 now, and just these little sweet little boys that were all over at my house having so much fun and playing basketball and swimming and all this stuff. And some of them, he's about to start an OU and he's got a few friends that now they're in trouble and they're not going to go to school and they're, they've just kind of chosen a different path. And it's just a bummer. So I would imagine for a teacher, it's even harder because you're spending every day with them and you see the potential. And I know now more than ever how you guys can see the potential in every single kid. I didn't really think that was a thing when I was a kid. Like I thought, okay, they have their favorites and this is this or whatever. But no, I see it because my 11-year-old is severely ADHD, and just the amount of care that his teachers put into his life and his education it's unbelievable. Like I just sit there sometimes at our meetings that we have with them. Because we have a thing in Texas that affords us to do that, and I'm just like, good, my God, they're actually paying attention to this kid, and it's a really cool thing to see.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you mentioned that one of the teachers that really impacted you most was, you said, your theater teacher?
Yeah, I sing about him. He's I name check him in Ohio. Went to Cleveland with some guy named Leland. His name was Leland James.
Okay.
And then I talked to him in my hometown. This song goes out to the professor who said, "Son, pick a path and stay the same because charisma is the key to opportunity." And it's so crazy. He's since passed too, but his son just came to my show, and his son's a year older than me. And his son comes to my shows sometimes, and we'll just share, and I'll just talk about the impact that this guy had on my life. And he would tell me, stories about how like his dad would I'm sorry, I'm gonna cry. About how his dad would, still talk about me. And I was just this little class clown, little fat kid. But I had potential that this guy saw. I go from literally just taking this class to have an easy elective, to being in the one act play, to winning all-star cast in state in Texas. And like, he literally changed my life. Like he took what other people were seeing as me being disruptive, and he turned it into creativity. And it was something that I had, apart from like all my other friends, all my other musician friends, all my band friends, none of them were in there. And it was like this outlet that I had to just like be on the stage and be me and be overt and just be tall and big and that man did that for me. And it's something that I will never forget. And I pay tribute to him anytime I can. I talk about it because I love that man with everything I got.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you've got lyrics in the song Ohio. Is that the song that you no, is that a quote from something he said? What was it?
No, so that's in my hometown. I actually I lyricked it up a little bit, but his thing was always like, You need to be you. Don't change because your friends, don't change because your teachers, don't change because your parents, don't change. You be you. You're a force. You, you are going to be something. And he would just pound that into me all the time. And man, nobody had ever spoken to me that way. I don't begin to say that I understand what he saw in me. I really don't. I don't know that I would have picked me out of a lineup and gone, that's a kid that needs this, but he did. And,
Yeah.
It's funny. It's like, kids from school still talk about those plays and stuff. And, it gets mentioned from time to time. And he and I we had a unique bond. I didn't even call him Mr.
Yeah.
Janes. His name was Rufus Leland Janes. So I called him RL, and everybody else had to call him Mr. Janes. And it just, it's like a movie.
That's awesome.
It's like that
Yeah.
teacher kid relationship out of a movie where it's just like, he's going to keep me in line in this area and this area. And these little things he just let go, but
Yeah.
Great man.
That's so awesome. Do you remember what your favorite acting role was that you had when you were working with him?
Yeah, I did a thing called An Actor's Nightmare, and it was essentially just a stand-up bit. Like, I was on stage the entire play, and I was a guy who I just walked onto the stage, and I thought I was like on my way to work, and all of a sudden I look around, and I'm in costume, and I'm interacting with actors, and there's an audience, and I even break the fourth wall. Like, I'm asking, like, hey guys, what am I doing here? I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing up here, and that kind of thing. And so,
yeah.
And that's the reason he picked that play is because he knew I really wanted to be a stand-up comedian. He's like, well, let's just give you the stage, and he never said that, but this play was built around me, and this is my senior year. But I interacted with all the other actors who would come in, and they think they're doing the actual play that they're to do. And so and they're calling me Eddie, and, I'm thrown into all these things and these situations. And I'm trying to just, I just finally stop fighting it and try to start blending in. But that was a good one. That's the one that I won the All-Star Cast and State for. And, I have a regret about that play. I wore a wig because I wouldn't cut my hair. And back then, your long hair was so important to you if you were a musician. And I wish I would have cut my hair because the wig did sort of look ridiculous. But I think about it all the time. I'm like, why didn't I just cut my hair and like make this thing? We could have, and not that the play didn't do fine, but I think about that a lot for some reason. I get a little locked down.
It's so funny, the things that were like, oh, man, if I'd only. It sounds like it still did incredibly well, and you won awards and all of that. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
now, have you ever tried your hand at stand-up? Thank you so much for watching. Want more of Those Who Can't Do in your life? Well, you can watch the full episode right now. Just click on that little box over there. You see it? Right down there? There it is. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Okay, bye.